right, let's be honest. Wearing pants sucks. Why should we be stuck in stiff jeans crushing our family jewels? Well, those days are over thanks to Public Rec. They got the deal maker pants, and let me tell you, these feel like sweatpants but look like jeans. You get that 5-pocket style, but all the comfort that you need to go from work to play, no problem. These pants are made with their Workday 2.0 fabric. Wind and water resistant, so they're built to handle whatever you got going on. Clean, classic, and comfortable. These are gonna be your new everyday pants. I've been switching between the deal maker and the day maker pants, and I pair them with the go-to tee, and trust me when I tell you, it's the perfect fit. Plus, Public Rec will let you pick your exact size, waist, and length. None of that small, medium, large nonsense. And with 10 color options, you can find your perfect look. Stop suffering in regular pants. Right now, you get 20% off with code Chael at checkout. That's 20% at publicrec.com. Make sure you use code Chael at checkout. Or, to make it easier, just click below. Paul Tyson, this is a fight. I remember where I was when this got announced. I was sitting and I was doing PBD's podcast, and I was having a great time. PBD brings this up, and so he turns to me, Chael, what do you think of this? And I remember what I thought of it. I did not believe it. As a matter of fact, there was a number of days, and I had to call this out. I had to call this out to get clarity for all of us, but I will take the credit for getting clarity. They were using a word, and I believe it was box. I believe, like everywhere you said, or it's just showing them together. I'm trying to go off my memory here, but I'm starting to get it. There'd be all these posters of Tyson and Paul and Netflix, and there was a date. And when was that supposed to be, guys? Was that supposed to be summer? July? Is that what it was supposed to be, and it got moved? But it never said what they were going to do. But it never used the word fight, or it never used the word box. It never said compete. It just kept showing them both. And I remember that was my reaction, but then I noticed it when ESPN.com picked it up. When it got picked up by SportsIllustrated.com, I'm reading this, I'm going, okay, but look, ESPN, the worldwide leader, and Sports Illustrated, neither one of them is saying fight, box, compete. It is showing Tyson and Paul. And I brought that out, and the marketing team and the PR team over there quickly corrected that. Okay, great, but now we have our clarity. But I'm just sharing with you, it was so unbelievable that I did not believe it. And I thought that I even cracked the code. Hey, you're all suckers. Well, it's being confirmed by ESPN. Well, not really. You got a graphic, two guys, big faces, and you have an advertisement for a company, but we're the ones saying what they're going to go and do. So, wrong. It was just a miss. It was just a miss by the PR team that put it out. Thought that everybody would know. But that's how unbelievable it was. Then they were going to do Dallas. They were going to do Jerry's World, which is really unbelievable. You cannot get 80,000 people to come watch that. It wouldn't matter if you gave tickets away. It wouldn't matter if you do a 2-for-1 or a Groupon or bring a can of soup and the kids get in free. 80,000 people are not going to that pain of an ass of an arena for one match, particularly when it's this match, particularly when it's aired on television. It simply isn't going to happen. That's not just a prediction that I felt back then when this got announced, which was in March. It wasn't just that. I'm telling you right now, they're not getting 80,000 people. This arena is the biggest pain in the ass of an arena I have ever set foot in, and I live going to arenas. And it's not like Dallas is some big fight capital, and it's not like Tyson or Paul are from Dallas and have some kind of tie into this. It's none of those things, which just I'm sharing with you. I'm giving you my timeline, added to where this was just silly. And it's going to have to be backed up by a massive card and or co-main event. None of those things happened. But all of a sudden, this fight isn't quite so silly. And they haven't changed it. Like, one thing that they really needed to change this story was training footage of Mike Tyson. And it could have been anything. He could have done a run and they clock it, but they show you that he did it in, he ran a mile in 8 minutes. That'd be a very fast time for somebody in Tyson's shape. He could have been in the weight room and he's repping, got 315 on the bar and he's pumping. Like, it could be anything. Sparring and focus mitts would be our favorite. The speed bag, the heavy bag, you can look real good. You could be doing a jump rope session and we'll judge him by the heart rate and the sweat and how his feet are looking like that. It could be damn near anything. We never got that. In fact, we got training footage from a fight that he did a number of years ago that they tried to pass off as current footage. And so this was a negative. This was going to be a black eye. In fact, somewhere along the way, Tyson even pulled out for medical issues and somehow got relicensed and sent back in there. Paul got a full training camp, a trip, a weigh-in, and a match in between. These things are greatly favoring Jake Paul, but not all of those things happen, and the fight does feel different, doesn't it? These guys have done a very good job. And a lot of people say that Michael Jordan is the most famous athlete alive, or that Michael Jordan is the most recognizable. I don't think that's true. And I wouldn't be able to prove that, but I believe it's Mike Tyson. And if there was some way to do it, I can tell you, my database, I'll take my son's third grade class, who have heard of Michael Jordan because of the shoe, but couldn't pick him out of a crowd, and know exactly who Mike Tyson is. And I've been around them both. And you do feel something when you're around Tyson. You do. So, is that all it is? Is that the secret? Some promoter was smart enough to just get Iron Mike. If one guy can cover the spread, it's him. Because if he's so beloved, it's not helpful that he's an underdog. It's not helpful that he's supposed to lose. That's not what you want to see with your beloved player. So there was a number of things that were against this fight. I'm just sharing that with you, but I'm sharing it as praise to the fight. They have made it work. I've been invited. Coach D. Cantor invited me over to watch it. He's having a party. I haven't been invited to a fight party. I can't remember the last time I was invited to a fight party. Last fight parties I have been to, the last 10 years, I threw them. I can't remember being invited to a fight party. Big deal. Just one example. But Jake Paul is very unique in the things that he does. He just is. He has a different set of skills, and he brought that set of skills. Here's what he did today, guys. I was blown away. I was just blown away by the creativeness of this from a performance art standpoint. Jake and his brother work. And one of the reasons they work is Logan is big brother, and Jake is to a point where he's not crazy about that. I am a legit badass doing legit dangerous things, and you're a very tough guy too, but you're doing the performance. I should be the one that's viewed, but Logan won't let him have it. That's Logan's little brother, and it comes through, and it's cool. It's a cool dynamic between these two. They go do a lie detectors test. Did you see this? This was brilliant. There's not another word for it. In the world of marketing, this was outstanding. So it's not just Jake Paul has to take a lie detectors test, which they're going to ask him, do you think you can beat him? Can you only beat him because of age? Is this a rigged fight where you went and found an older guy with a big name? Now, I'm changing some of the questions, but this was the topic. This is exactly what they asked him, just not verbatim like that. Now, it went both ways. They put Logan Paul. They hooked him up to the machine to ask him as my brother, as my closest confidant, as my supporter, my corner man. Do you think I can beat him? It was very interesting. It was, and Jake Paul, by the way, Jake Paul failed. He has an anxiety. He has an emotion, something that was picked up by this machine. I'm taking for granted that it was an accurate machine. Don't think you have to tell me there's theater here, but I do think it was an accurate machine. I just don't think those guys, as good a performers they are, I don't think they're that good of actors. I think they really went and did a machine and lived with the result. And Jake Paul said that he does not believe that Tyson's age is a factor. That he believes Tyson to be a threat at all times, regardless of the age. And they then asked him if he's confident that he's going to beat him. And he did not pass that. And I just think that's interesting. And I also think that's believable. I am also much younger than Mike Tyson. And I was to a letter of intent phase of fighting Mike Tyson. Supposed to go to it was like some rooftop in Saudi Arabia. It was this whole thing. But I remember how I felt inside. I was signing it. And I was doing my part, and I was excited. That's Mike Tyson. This is going to be a big thing. I ended up foxing with Anderson Silva instead. But I'm just sharing with you from a very personal standpoint. I didn't think about his age. I told Coach Clayton, say, can I beat this guy? Same question I asked Clayton before every fight. He said, of course, champ. This guy's 55 years old. But it didn't give me a lot of confidence, I must tell you. I still see him as a certain way. And I know how important the approach is. And if Jake Paul also views Tyson in that way, I think that's very respectful. I think that lets us into the mindset of Jake Paul. But I also think if you guys are accepting this at face value, and I encourage you to, I believe it was a real lie detector's test. I encourage you to look at Jake Paul differently. Because if he's fighting an older Mike Tyson and it doesn't matter and that guy's not the threat and he's younger and he's just going to win, and that's what the odds makers say. That's what you guys betting with your money and partying with it with my partners DraftKings say, 2.5 to 1 favorite. But if he doesn't see it that way, then you cannot look at him from a perspective that he's trying to do something easy or he's only taking it because it's easy. Even if those things turn out in hindsight to be true, if he doesn't believe them, so he's got that anxiety, he's got that fear, he sees himself as the one that's going to be hurt and going to be hunted, and he's signing up and agreeing for it anyway. That in and of itself makes him a different guy and a different competitor than maybe we were all aware. I think the lie detector was brilliant. I think this fight is getting more and more interesting. I hope that Mike agrees. I hope Mike Tyson takes the same polygraph